Aaron, first off, I can't wait to watch you play next year. I know you didn't say that. I'm going to say that for just out of hope, and I feel like I can watch you. I can see your demeanor and your posture. Looks like you know what you're going to be ready to sling that thing in about 2 weeks. You could probably still go right now if you wanted. But what do you make of the internet rumors or reports that they may not be in Green Bay? Is that up to you? Is that up to the team? Would you ever want to not play in Green Bay?
Great question, AJ.
I think when you say never, things happen that you say never to. So when I came back from the Combine in 2005, they said, "How was it?" And I said, man, it was so much fun, except for the 5 a.m. Drug test the first day, and at Cybex test, and then sitting at an MRI machine for 8 hours, with only a sandwich and an apple.
Come on.
I said, but other than that, it was pretty cool. I think all the teams are great, except for Green Bay. That was a really tough interview. They were just kind of grilling me, but it's all right. I mean, I'm never going to play there anyway. They're drafting 24th. So you be careful saying never.
Yeah.
I don't think you say never. Listen, I came back and really wanted to finish my career in Green Bay. In 2019, we, were feeling each other out on offense, and our defense played pretty damn good. And a lot of people said I was, what did I say, washed, couldn't really play anymore.
Washed, yeah.
Wasn't the same. And then I won 2 MVPs in a row.
Yeah. Is that good?
Without really doing anything different. I'm sure there's a lot of the same sentiment this year. I have a lot of comments about a lot of that I'd like to keep to myself, or I'll share, off air, just because out of respect for the whole process, and just, some things don't need to be said. I think are more understood implicitly. But do I still think I can play? Of course. Can I play at a high level? Yeah. The highest. I think I can win MVP again in the right situation. Right situation, is that Green Bay or is that somewhere else? I'm not sure. But I don't think you should shut down any, opportunity. Like I said, during the season, it's got to be, both sides, like actually wanting, to work together moving forward. And I think there's, more conversations to be had. I think no player wants to be part of any type of rebuild. I said that years ago. Reloads are a lot of fun because you feel like you're close. You're only a couple guys away. This game is about relationships. It's about the players you play with and count on, even if they don't maybe show up huge in the stat book. A guy like Mercedes Lewis is an important cog in the wheel of the locker room and the momentum of the team. That's a guy I want to finish my career with. If I'm playing, I want that guy next to me. I want the Randall Cobbs of the world, if he wants to keep playing, in my locker room. Guys you can win with. Alan Lazard, Bobby Tunyon, Dave Bakhtiari. There's a lot of interesting names that we'll see, their, desire to re-sign these certain guys who are glue guys in the locker room will be an interesting conversation to be had. Take all that away, I still, need to mentally get to a point where I feel 100% locked in and ready to play a 19th season. And if I do, then we'll rock and roll and figure that out. If I don't, then we'll go into the jungles for a while.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to hear about those someday. I assume the trips to the jungles will be hysterical. But let's get back to what you just said a lot right there, okay? AJ.
Hysterical?
Yeah. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. That's not. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Usually hysterical at first, like laughing. I mean, there might be some laughing about things that happen that might be so ridiculous to your mind you can't possibly imagine they're real. But
no, I agree. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
oh, great. Okay.
I view life like a movie. Like it's awesome.
Your life is amazing. Are you gonna have a reality show yet? What are we doing here? What are we working on?
No, we're just talking sports. It's just being a dumb guy talking sports. And I'm going to the jungles with you one day. I cannot wait to do that.
I mean, I can't either, man. We're gonna have a blast.
Oh, I heard there's some story. They were hysterical.
They were hysterical.
You know what I'm talking about? But anyways, you said a lot right there, dude. You did, honestly, because obviously you've thought about that. When you talk about Mercedes Lewis and Cobb, this goes back a few years back where the conversation between you and the Packers was at a standpoint where I couldn't really fathom, because I was very fortunate enough to come into the NFL with a team that had Peyton Manning on it. And Peyton Manning wasn't like, if Peyton Manning wanted something, like, he's going to get it. I just assumed, like, that makes sense, by the way. Best player, been around the longest, in the locker room, the one that has to get it done. We all know that the quarterback's the most important position, so why wouldn't we treat it as such? And that's kind of just how I saw things go, and there was a lot of success that way. So whenever I was hearing things about the Green Bay Packers organization where you were saying something like, hey, I'd like this, and then that person, like, getting cut almost, like, in spite of you, it's like, that doesn't make sense business-wise, either off the field or on the field. Now it kind of sounds like whenever you say something like rebuild instead of reload, are you getting the sense that in Green Bay right now, around that young core, that they're trying to kind of start a new era? And does that weigh into your thoughts on whether you want to play for or not play again, maybe somewhere else? Because there's a lot that you said there, like a lot. You said a fucking lot there. That was awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Pat. I think the answer, the question, you just answered itself, right? If there's a rebuild going on, I won't be a part of that.
So they have to figure that out. And do they have to figure that out before you decide that you're coming back? Because then there is kind of a timeline, right? Isn't there?
Well, listen. I don't think any team outside of maybe the Texans this year or some. There's a couple of teams maybe who might say, yeah, we're rebuilding. We finished down at the bottom of the league, and we're obviously we're going to start over. These teams who have new GM or head coach and they're drafting pretty high, they might admit that they're in some sort of rebuild, but not. Most teams in the middle of the pack aren't going to say, hey, we're going to rebuild. Unless we have a crazy cap situation. So. No GM or president's ever going to say, "Hey, we're rebuilding."
Got it.
So that won't, I'm sure that'll trigger somebody asking them, are you guys rebuilding? And the answer would be, of course not. We got this and we got that, but it's a mindset. If they want to go younger and think Jordan's ready to go, then that might be the way they want to go. And if that's the case, and I still want to play, then there's only one option, right? That's to play somewhere else. If it's not, and they, like, no, we still want you to play, and this and that, then it'd have to be, the right situation with the roster that looks like we can win it all, because there's no point coming back if you don't think you can win it all.
And this is all if mentally you want to commit to an entire year, obviously. Which is a huge you have a lot to figure out, dude. Good luck, bro. Good luck with figuring that all out.